Hello friends and welcome to my channel. I have a fun flat shaker for you today featuring Spellbinders Large Die of the Month Family and Friends Vignettes, and this is a cute one. This die set contains both a dinosaur and a dog. The dog is on another card which I have shown a picture of, and you can find details for that one on my blog at bonniecarolee.com. The dinosaur is easily put together. I put a little black circle behind the die cut for its eye, and now I'm attaching the spines along the back. Both the spine and the chest detail is out of indigo cardstock. There is an etched line on the dinosaur to show where this piece will line up, and when it goes on, it will also outline the other arm. And she's going to be wearing a cute little tutu which has been die cut out of a darker purple cardstock than the body. The large die of the month also contains a number of florals. For this large flower, it has some furled edge details which have been die cut from a darker purple than the lilac colored flower. The flower centers for both of these are finished off with a pretty textured center, and then a small detail goes right in the middle. To assemble the little cupped flowers, on the larger die cut, the flower center is placed on first. It is then finished up by adhering the outer petal edge on top, lining it up to the bottom of the larger die cut. This style of flower comes in two sizes, and I have die cut each one 2 times. One of the stems included will have some little florals peeking through the top, and there's an etched line to line these up. Right now, to create the flat shaker with the arch dies that are included in the set. Starting off with the smaller plain arch die, I lined up 2 pieces of cardstock that are A2 size and ran them through the die cutter. The second panel will have an impression so that I can line up the die. In this way, I will be assured that both panel arches will line up perfectly. A window frame will be created by taking that smaller die and placing it inside the larger decorative one, using some low-tack tape to hold the dies together, and I'll cut some colored cardstock. For some pretty detail, the panel that is going to sit on top will be embossed with the 3D embossing folder of the month. The folder does have a floral design in the corner, and I don't want to catch that, so I place the panel right up against that right-hand corner. There it is, so pretty. To create the flat shaker, I have 2 pieces of acetate that are large enough to cover the window. The first piece of acetate is placed over the window on the panel that will sit in the back. Adhesive is applied around the window on the acetate, fairly close to the window's edge, but leaving enough room for the adhesive to spread without it showing on the acetate on the window opening. I'm going to be using really small little micro beads for my shaker material. These little tiny beads are undisciplined and they can get all over the place if you're not careful. So I'm putting in a few at a time, flatten them out, and then adding in some more. And now I can go ahead and take my second piece of acetate and place it on top of the panel. To make sure that it has good contact with the adhesive, I give it a good rub all the way around, particularly around the window's edge. So now I'm ready for my emboss panel to be adhered on top, making sure that the windows are aligned to one another. And there we go. It's as easy as that, a flat shaker. I wanted to pop up that frame that sits around the window, so I've die cut it also from foam. So I'll go ahead and adhere the cardstock die cut to the foam one and give it a few minutes to dry. Leaving the foam frame in the background makes it easier to line up, and now I can pop it out and adhere it to my panel. Before I start decorating my panel with all of the die cuts, I'll add some details. The flowers and leaves are being splattered with Spellbinder Splatter White. It's being watered down slightly, and I like to apply it with a fan brush. Some shiny polka dots will be added to the tutu. I'm first going to use a glue dot pen which dispenses the tiniest amount of glue on the tutu, and then I'll sprinkle it with some dark navy glitter. Next, I'm going to apply some small dots along the back of the dinosaur right up around his head using Nouveau Crystal Drops Simply White. That'll be set aside to dry, and at the very end, I'm going to add in some denim blue drops amidst the white. The flat shaker is adhered to an A2 size card base. The floral design is going to sit along the top of the arched window and then flow down on the left-hand side. The stem and leaves were popped up with foam squares, and the flower will be added on with liquid adhesive. 2 additional leaves are added to the base of the stem, and then the smaller of the 2 flowers can be tucked in there. The cupped flowers will be added to the stems, and then I can start working on the left-hand side of the window frame. The smaller flowers will be layered on by adhering the stems directly to the frame with liquid adhesive. And once this little grouping is all put together, then I'll finish off the one at the top by adding in an additional small flower. And the floral arrangement is wrapped up with a couple of leaves that are placed at the base of the arrangement that is on the left-hand side. Cute little dinosaur is going to be popped up with foam squares sitting right on the shaker window. As I mentioned earlier, I'm adding in some additional dot detail with denim blue crystal drops. Strip sentiment included in the stitching die of the month was die cut from mulberry cardstock, the same cardstock that was used for the frame. And just like the window frame, it is also going to be mounted on a foam die cut. And that wraps up this flat shaker featuring Spellbinders Large Die of the Month Family and Friends Vignettes. Check out the details for this second card on my blog at bonniecarolee.com. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, I appreciate your visit.